Full stop. Before we continue on, this podcast is made for adults by adults and is strictly 18 plus. The following episode includes sexually explicit content that will be acted out in full, and you may not be ready to hear your favorite One Piece characters in such sticky situations, so I suggest you skip this one for now. Come back and hang with us when you grow up. And now, on to the show. What up, insane Caesar Clown Posse? You're tuned in to the wildest podcast this side of the Grand Line. Well, besties, when your situationship ignores your calls, there's only one thing to do. Put on something sexy, show up to his job, and stab him. It's time for One Piece of Trash.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome to One Piece of Trash, the show where I give people what they want, and that's Old Man Yowie. A little bit about the project. All the actors involved were asked if they wanted to read the script beforehand, and 5 out of 6 actors voted no-ish. So this is kind of a cold read. It's a lukewarm read. The actors have been instructed to just have fun with it, and I will give little to no direction. Today, we are reading Chapter 4 of It's Complicated to Say the Least by Ghostscript. In our last chapter, the Red Hairs went to check in on Luffy and the Straw Hats, and everybody was fighting demons. Yasopp was fighting paternal accountability. Shanks was fighting the urge to steal drugs from a tiny reindeer doctor, and lost. Mihawk was fighting for his life on poppers at the goth club. And Buggy is fighting a demon known as Buggy. And speaking of people who are fighting demons, let's meet our crew today. Cast, I want you to say your name, your pronouns, who you're playing, and your astrological sign.
Hello, my name is Julian Bremer. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Shanks, and my astrological sign is Aquarius. And I think my rising is like Sagittarius or something like that. I can't remember. I don't know
the dawning of the age of.
Yeah, of Aquarius. Apparently, we're very emotional. That's what I keep getting. That's what I keep learning.
Well, my name is James, and my pronouns are he, him. I will be playing Ben today. And my astrological sign is Scorpio.
Ooh. When's your birthday?
October 29th.
Oh, okay. So you're a late October Scorpio.
Yeah. It's a special kind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they told me that too. They called it autism.
Yeah.
I'm a special kind.
Hey, y'all. I'm Apollo. Pronouns he, him. I am
Yes.
Yasopp. Just testing the rest of the crew. And I am Gemini, but the next out of the big 3 are both Scorpio, so.
All of them?
Yeah. There's a lot of Scorpio in my chart, except for whichever one is supposed to represent the way that I love, in which case that one's Cancer. So I'm a mess all around.
Yeah, I'm like Scorpio, Cancer, Sag.
I got my chart read yesterday. Yeah. Then my friend was like, "Oh my God, there's so much Scorpio here," and I was like, "No,
I don't know if that's good or bad."
That's funny.
Sounds good.
All right. My name is Jazzy. I'm going to be your narrator today, and I am a Virgo. I don't know what all is in my chart. I don't really care. I don't even like astrology, but I think it's hilarious that somebody who doesn't know me will be like, that's such a Virgo thing to do. Or like, I'll say something and be like, that's a Virgo thing to say. Like I exude my sign for some reason.
I love it because it's like new age, socially accepted discrimination.
Yeah,
right? Like, what the fuck?
I love it.
As opposed to Myers-Briggs, which is business racism.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Business racism
Business
is phenomenal.
racism. The new racism.
The new racism.
By Tommy Hilfiger.
ENFP.
Actually, there should be more like Calvin Klein.
Yeah,
by Calvin Klein, yeah.
Okay.
The New Racism by Calvin Klein.
I thought it was an intro to an audiobook, but then it turned into a commercial. And I was like, oh, okay.
And now, business racism.
Chapter 1.
I've never done the Myers-Briggs test either.
Oh, I was going to ask you what you were.
Autistic.
Yeah, I'm autistic. That's all I know.
That part, yeah.
I am James Overstreet. I'm playing Mihawk. My pronouns are whatever you got, and I'm a Leo.
A Leo? What's your birthday?
August 19th, same day as Bill Clinton and Gene Roddenberry.
Real? Oh, little trivia for the girls. All right, and without further edging, I give you Chapter 4 of It's Complicated to Say the Least by Ghostscript. Chapter 4. Ben had been kicking him out of bed at a firm 7 a.m. every morning in an attempt to enforce better habits, but it wasn't alerting his rhythm. His insomnia was so bad, he often wasn't sleeping at all, staring at the walls until they seemed to melt. This was still favorable to the nightmares that had returned in abundance. The blood-soaked ghost of Roger was almost always present. Sometimes he choked awake from his own sobbing. He hoped his men couldn't hear. Those... Aw, he didn't want the boys to hear.
Be quiet.
Those instances, he'd blink and find himself knelt on the floor, prying up the wooden slat to run through all the excuses he could make to justify using. He'd managed to stay clean, though the veil between action and thought was getting thinner. In the middle of the night, he'd gotten as far as to draw the liquid into the syringe, then panicked and threw it across the room. Deprivation added weight to his limbs. His cabin felt stale. In the silence of daybreak, he smoked a cigarette stolen from Beckman's stash, leaning over the railing near the bow of the Red Force. The wood was jabbing into his ribs, and had been for a while, but he didn't want to move. Dull ache he was used to. He had been watching a large squid inch along just under the surface of the water when Ben crept up behind him.
I was just coming to wake you. How long have you been up?
Shanks knew that was rhetorical. Beckman was chastising him.
I was thinking about Uta. She's still mad at me for abandoning her.
Ben folded his arms across his chest.
Leaving her at a private school in Legia is hardly abandonment. It was the safest option. I take it you two had another argument.
His hand dangled out of view. Ben couldn't see him tilting the ember side of his cigarette towards the inside of his wrist. It singed the delicate skin easily, burning red hot, the rush of pain drawing him back into existence.
No, I've been ignoring her calls.
Oh, wow. So, Shanks is now self-harming to ground himself.
Yeah,
Is going on? This is,
Like, I need to be aware.
have you ever?
Oh, I'm alive. I'm awake. Like,
I think to add another layer to this, have you ever been high
yes.
and then went to sleep, and then you woke up and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good, and then it waits like 30 minutes, and then it comes back.
It's like when you go in
Yeah.
the shower.
I think this script just activated my high from last night.
Well,
Long story short, Shanks is addicted to heroin, trying to kick it.
Oh, okay.
Stole some morphine from Chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Just has it for safety. Try not to use, Every day is an uphill battle.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And he got his back cracked like a glow stick in 3 places by Mihawk.
That's
every
what's
which way.
making me fine.
Yeah.
It's the...
Heard. All right.
Now you're caught up. Ben scratched the hair at his chin.
I'm so fucking confused. How are you still this bad at communicating? Love pretending you're having so much fun and just removing yourself from anything that pokes holes in the illusion. You just prefer stuffing everything down till you sink like a stone into the sea. Is that it?
Well, it's the pirate way.
His laugh was hollow. The squid had ducked too far down to see.
You're being selfish. Akagami, snap out of it. Uta needs to know you care.
Shanks shuddered, dropping the snubbed-out butt to the water below. Ben was right. He was being moody. He had to rebuild his walls.
I've been ignoring her because something is up. I don't know how to address it delicately. The last time we spoke, she was jittery and couldn't focus. Did you notice? I never picked up on it before. But I know the signs. Fighting I can do. This is just... Ben, I think she inherited all the worst parts of me. Do you think she's partying? Pot calling the kettle black, I know.
Ben scowled.
She told me she's been working hard on writing some new music is all. Late nights. She's a teenager. They're just like that. You were. You still are.
That's my point. Leaving her there probably didn't help her escape being related to me. It's a fucking cycle. Roger and Ray Lee fucked me up. I fucked up Uta.
Roger and Rayleigh did their best.
Go back.
Yeah.
Uta, yeah.
I know, I was like, oops.
Can you stress the me? Roger and Rayleigh fucked me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just it's a fucking cycle. Roger and Ray Lee fucked me up. And I fucked up Uta.
Roger and Rayleigh did their best. Not the best, granted, but they meant well. And Roger spoiled you, while he was in the mine too, which was a huge fuck-up. Made you insufferable.
He set a cigarette between his uneven smile.
Also, Love how you just omit the part where Uda's mom hid her in a goddamn treasure chest for you to find. You junky 19-year-old, and then fucked off to who knows where. And yeah, if you want cold, hard honesty, you weren't. You aren't fit to parent. Especially not someone who needs routine like our girl. So, you did the honorable thing and left her in capable hands.
Good pep talk, Ben. That's the support we need. Shanks turned around, outstretching his arm.
Can I have a smoke?
No, you cannot. Don't think I haven't noticed, you fucking sneak thief. By your own.
Ben's gaze skipped down, briefly catching something in the corner of his eye. He snatched Shanks by the wrist, smudging away the ash from the circular blister that had already begun to form with his thumb.
Oh, no, nope. Not this again. Shanks, you've got to be kidding me.
What? It's nothing. It just slipped. I'm disabled.
Ben lingered his grip, looking for more marks. Satisfied that there was nothing else to be seen, he let go.
Go get some breakfast. We got a distress call. Have to rid the village of some marine trash that's been taking advantage of their goodwill.
He'd be lost without Ben. He was a walking disaster when they met. Hot off the heels of Roger's execution, whoring for Barry to support himself and Buggy, getting a ship only for Buggy to reject his invitation based on some batshit crazy notion of his own concoction. Buggy was the type who'd be mad at you for what you did in his dream. In Logtown, his chest so tight with grief, the only way he could function was drinking, and then drinking wasn't enough. In Logtown, you could get anything you needed, if you knew where to look. The first time he spiked a vein was the first time he'd been able to forget about Roger. Roger wasn't a bad father. Not cut and dry, anyway. If he had been, it would have been easier. Flawed, absolutely. For most of his childhood, Roger was funny and stern, but never without bear hugs and lessons about sea creatures and knot tying and all manner of survival technique. He was smart. He could get angry, break something, and storm off, leaving Rayleigh to apologize on his behalf. When he started to get sick, when his memory started to go, things got so crazy and unfair that things got so scary and unfair, and the time just dragged. He was a once ferocious spider having his legs pulled off one by one, and there was nothing Shanks could do but watch him suffer. Even when the blows struck him instead of a plate or a bottle, he felt pity. He'd secretly wished he could just get it over with and die, so he wouldn't have to keep explaining who he was or where he was or that he was supposed to be his dad. When he did die, he pounded his fists into the concrete below, begging the gods to give him another day. Rayleigh wasn't to blame, really, for the drinking, even if he'd given Shanks his first taste at a wildly inappropriate age. He didn't have to show up at all, fighting his own demons. And yet, he still made chocolate and banana pancakes special for Buggy's birthday every year, and pointed out the constellations every single time he saw them. There were stretches of time, really most of the time if he thought about it, where he was just left alone. Rayleigh too out of it to be bothered, and Roger unable to leave his room. That's what shaped him. Who could he rely on other than himself if life was always going to be this precarious? His usual dealer had been careless and caught by Marines, so he'd sought out a new guy he'd been told about. First by, the man seemed hesitant. He didn't seem much like a hardened criminal, just sort of a guy in his 30s who needed supplemental income. He asked him if he was a runaway, how old he was, etc. If he knew what he was doing. Shanks was impatient.
Just sell the gear, old man, or I'll find someone else.
Sure you don't want to just nurse a beer or call your mom? I'll call your mom. What's her number?
Next few times, the man gifted him clean works and some food tied up in a cloth napkin. Several meetings later, Shanks had excused himself to the tavern bathroom to shoot up, got overly ambitious with his tolerance, and thought for sure he was done for. The dealer had found him, blue at the lips, and curled up on the floor that hadn't been cleaned once since the bar was established, scooped him up like a baby, and taken him home. That man saved his life, and that man was Ben Beckman. Shanks told Ben all about his savings for his ship, which had plateaued a bit from his habit, and his life on the Oro Jackson. Ben told him about his wife who'd passed from an aggressive cancer, and the medical bills he couldn't manage to pay. They'd made a deal, a spit shake on Shanks's insistence. Ben would join his crew and be the first mate.
Medical bills aren't even real,
He'd said, when hoping to convince the man.
They make all that shit up. Pirates don't pay bills or to capitalists.
Damn right.
Fuck yes.
Very horny
That
for not
makes them
paying
very
bills
horny.
to capitalists.
Very horny for not paying bills.
Ugh. My fucking sinuses decided to act up right now. Ben's only caveat was that Shanks stick to drinking. With Beckman's savings tacked on, they bought a small ship within a few months, and the red-haired pirates were born. It was, of course, sometime around then that Shanks had started dueling Mihawk, another call he'd been ignoring. He did miss Mihawk. As ridiculous as his drunken confession of love was, he did feel a flutter of something hearing it. He took it with a grain of salt, though. Buggy had strong MDMA, after all. The night in the castle, warm in his bed. I feel like on the recording, they're going to be able to hear how, clogged I am. Oh, well. Oh, well.
That
You can say at the very
hard all at once.
You can say at the beginning, hey, my sinuses were a little messed up. Sorry, and then start the episode.
No, fuck them. They're going to find out when I find out. Buggy had strong MDMA, after all. The night in the castle, warm in his bed, it felt different than anyone else he'd been with. The group of Marines was ragtag and in over their head as far as extortion schemes went. It was overkill for Shanks to have even stepped off the boat. They learned that some schmuck of an admiral had led a small team to fish out a low-level pirate who had slept with his daughter, besmirching his reputation and leaving the poor girl with a pelvic itch. That's wild.
Oh, no.
That's crazy. Not the pelvic itch. Naturally, the pirate wound up not even being there. The admiral left, but instructed a few guys to set up an outpost just in case, and he showed back up, as he had family ties to the mayor or something equally vague. The Marines had been instructed to only check in if they had information. As the weeks went by, they had less and less. They expected to be recalled, but weren't. Realizing that, despite being sort of forgotten, their means of intimidation was still, as far as the townsfolk knew, the full weight of the Marines, so they conspired to start demanding taxes and goods, and all manner of bullshit. The people had been tolerating it up until the point the Marines involved themselves into the mayor's house. Up until the point the Marines moved themselves into the mayor's house. Thus, the Red Force came to the rescue. Almost all the red-haired pirates had stayed back on the ship. Yassop volunteered to scout, but Shanks was too anxious for something to do and went with, which meant Ben also tagged along. To their dismay, the Marines had taken one look at their flag and scattered, fleeing in a crabbing boat on the opposite side of the island.
Well, shit.
Ben smacked his lips.
I suppose we could have been sneakier about it.
Yassop scratched the back of his head.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little let down.
Shanks shifted his weight on his heels.
What's the bet they called for backup?
Are they worth backup? It was like 8 men in an off-books vendetta, and not one of those maneuvers were a bunch of dongs. I've got to do this again.
A bunch of
dongs is crazy.
A bunch of... Are they worth the backup? It was like 8 men in an off-books vendetta. Not one of those maneuvers where a bunch of ding-dongs pushed toy soldiers around the map.
Ben replied, lighting 2 cigarettes simultaneously, handing the second to Shanks.
Well, I'm multi-talented.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those wait-and-see sort of situations.
The mayor offered them a hot meal. Shanks went back to the ship to tell the other pirates their status and inform them of the directions to the town bar. He was about to head back himself when his Denden Mushi rang out.
Mihawk, how are you? Well, are you going to propose again?
That's wild.
You are never going to let me live that down, are you?
Never ever. He groaned. Mihawk could sense Shanks shaking his head and stifling his laughter.
Hey, now isn't a great time. I'm in the middle of a thing.
Mihawk hummed.
Yes, I know. I picked it up on Marine radio. You'll be happy to know I intercepted their pleas for assistance.
Not actually. The crew are itching for a fight, myself included.
Is that so?
Shanks ran his hand through his hair, smiling at the flirty lilt in Mihawk's tone.
It is. Got too much energy for all my own good.
Well, I better do my job and come after you. See you in an hour or so. We need to talk anyway.
The town tavern was larger than you'd have expected considering the size of the town itself. As most of the people worked as fishermen, it made sense. It was their meeting hall. There were painted crabs, buoys, dusty nets, and shark teeth dangling from every spare inch of the place. The men were already drinking and making friends. Even Ben had taken a shine to the mare, who'd let her hair down in celebration. She was, now that Shanks was actually looking, a very comely lady with capable shoulders and long lilac locks. Chat, let us know if you're comely with shapeable shoulders. Comely with capable shoulders.
You don't like the word comely?
I'm just
comely is fine, but like, what are we talking about here?
What is the definition?
Capable shoulders is hilarious. Like, I just imagine that meme where they're like slapping it and they're like, this baby can hold so much backpack strap.
I know exactly what they mean.
Yeah,
I can probably conjure up a comely.
Let us know if you like a comely
shoulder
with capable shoulders. Shanks had started to feel like a third wheel, excusing himself from their conversation. Ben gave him a look, which was met with Shanks patting his lower back.
I'll be fine, Bex. You deserve a night off.
Mihawk arrived around the time the pirates were inebriated enough to not really notice. Center stage, Yasopp had started singing, and was loudly and laughably off-key. Shanks leaned against the wall outside, basking in the brisk night air. Mihawk approached slowly, stiffening his posture.
You look well. The shirt suits you. You even managed to do almost all the buttons. That has to be some kind of record.
I figured out how to just pull it on over my head. I don't have to undo it at all. Takes only half the time to get undressed now.
Mihawk kept his face clenched. He couldn't let that charm undo him again.
So, you're interfering with marine business.
And
I told them I'd apprehend you.
The leather-wrapped hilt of Yoru warmed in his grip.
You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?
Shanks's blade sparkled as a light caught, drawn slowly from its sheath.
There's no way for me to respond that doesn't sound sexy.
Mihawk snarled.
Oh, grow up.
They walked side by side down a stone path to an alleyway where they wouldn't be interrupted. Mihawk struck first. Shanks parried. Outside, Mihawk remained cool, bearing each strike down with intention, clinical, swift. Inside, he felt ecstatic. Shanks was in good form, scrappy and effortless, somewhat sloppy, as usual, but so natural he'd course correct before it could be exploited. Mihawk managed to flank his left, nipping his shoulder. Shanks landed a kick to Mihawk's knee that further opened him up to a stinging slice to a thigh. Momentary arrogance at his maneuver cost him the upper hand. The moment Mihawk had been saving his energy for. He pounced, using the blunt end of his sword to gut shot, doubling him over. Then, his foot to trip him backwards, a move he'd stolen from Shanks if he were being honest. He detached the kogatana from his neck, backhandling the edge across Shanks's wrist. Blood seeped into his sleeve. Shanks's sword rattled against the cobblestone underneath them, the back of his head slamming down after. He hadn't landed gracefully. Mihawk held him down, digging his knee in, pinching the joint between his armpit and rotator cuff. That hurts, by the way. Pinching between your armpit and your rotator cuff, that pectoralis minor muscle, that hurts. Yeah.
I don't
Right.
What?
Right here. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You squeeze that?
Yeah.
Okay.
To his surprise, Shanks actually looked pensive. A man he was sure had no singular worry in his head except the quickest route to pleasure. Rather than use Yoru at such a close range, he laid it beside them, his kogatana now in his favorite hand and running a red thread across his opponent's jaw. Shanks did not flinch.
Settle a bet with me, Hawkeyes.
He stilled.
What?
I got 100 berry bet that you used that thing to open letters for Crocodile. That's one of your duties as a secretary, right?
Little shit, he thought. Just for the secretary remark, his unoccupied fingers pressed into the wound on his shoulder. Shanks hissed at the pain. Mihawk dragged his knee down, digging it into his thigh and keeping him pinned and his belly exposed. He'd missed this. Shanks's tenacity and his own power. He sunk his teeth into his hip. There it was, the little half-lustful, half-pained moan from his opponent that curled his toes.
Submit.
What would be the fun in that, babe?
Fucking asshole. The urge to take him then and there clouded his perception. The way his shirt had ridden upwards in the scuffle in the warmth of his sun... The way his shirt had ridden upwards in the scuffle, the warmth of his sunburns. Mihawk used the kogatana to pop off the buttons one by one, his knee inched closer to his groin.
You never know when to quit.
There was a defiant gleam in Shanks' eye that Mihawk knew too well. He waited until Shanks began to mutter his sarcastic reply to bite down hard on his nipple, suckling it as it engorged. The strain, the way his voice broke, music to his ears.
Ouch, Mihawk!
I'm sorry, I can't spell that one.
It's like, I was like straining. Okay, so.
He flicked the tip with his fingers.
Ah, silly me. I've ruined your only shirt again.
I love
Your only shirt.
Shanks is a bum, and Mihawk wants him for some reason. I don't get it, girl, but to each his own.
My one shirt.
Shanks wormed his arm free, clocking him across the jaw with a sharp-knuckled right hook. His whole head thrummed. He could no longer hear anything but the pulsation of blood between them, the taste of copper in his mouth.
For that insolence, I ought to turn you in and collect the bounty.
He knew Shanks had his hand close to his sword, so it was no surprise when he felt it at the back of his neck. Mihawk licked some blood from his teeth.
Do we call this another stalemate?
Shanks let his arm limp.
I did like the shirt.
Mihawk smirked, clasping him by the wrist again.
Good.
Shanks laughed.
You just wanted to get sweaty.
I felt like seeing you beneath me.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a bell ringer.
That's a bell ringer. Dropping his dagger, he tugged Shanks by the waist, bringing his tailbone to his lap. He folded over to tease a kiss, biting the space between their lips, brushing skin, his tracing shapes down his pelvis. He could sense Shanks yearning as his tongue finally parted his mouth open. Shanks' arm lifted to touch Mihawk's back, but he intercepted to hold it still again, breaking their lip lock for air.
Do you want me to fuck you? Right now, in this alley?
He carefully pushed a stray red hair from the man's temple for a better view of his soft brown eyes, so much brighter than before. Shanks was vibrating with heat. He had been pent up for so long since getting sober. And every touch felt 1,000 times more intense. He could feel Mihawk's hard-on against his spine, doing his best to grind against it despite being restrained. For all the shit he gave him, he did love the way his stern golden glare seemed to bore right through him. The roughness of his beard. How easy it was for Mihawk to toss him around like a rag doll. How beautifully manicured he kept himself to seem reserved, but underneath was fire that just screamed to be ignited.
Yes, fuck me.
He hadn't meant to sound so breathy. Mihawk snickered.
Have you been slutty?
If a man asked me, have I been slutty, I'd be like, and was. Period. Even if I hadn't
Still
been.
am.
Even if you had been.
And is. The fuck?
What do you mean?
I was reading all morning and I had a hot cup of tea, but I was slutty. I promise you.
Did it sluttily.
I did it
Do
slutty.
everything slutty.
You gotta.
I did it naked with my legs open.
It's just randomly playing with your nipple.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
He licked down his chest, back to the perky taut nipples he found irresistible.
Have you taken anyone since me?
No, not since you.
No women either?
I like that Mihawk thinks that Shanks would think that women don't count.
Yeah.
So he has to be
love
like,
that. Just make-
did you fuck a woman? Coochie counts. Sloppy kisses slid down Shanks's abs.
No, Mihawk. Just you.
He let his nose just barely caress the fabric covering Shanks's erection. Evidently, Shanks wasn't wearing any underwear.
Good.
Mihawk stood up, pushing Shanks's limbs away like a sack of potatoes. Shanks wrinkled his nose.
Oh, come on. Are you just gonna leave me like this?
Mihawk adjusted himself to calm his member.
Yes, it's what you deserve.
Why do I deserve blue balls?
We need to talk. I didn't come here to fuck you.
Shanks pouted, pushing himself up off the ground.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sure someone in the tavern will.
He began to shout.
Hey, townies, I'm horny. Someone fuck me. Gender is irrelevant.
He's such an asshole. Mihawk covered Shanks's mouth with his hand, dragging him out of direct view of the street.
Shut up. Gods, you are the worst.
Keeping his grasp firm, he pushed him up face first against the side of a building.
Insatiable harlot.
Your whore.
He agreed, into Mihawk's palm and the brick wall.
You remembered. Maybe you have earned a treat.
He yanked down the redhead's trousers, shoving himself in without any preparation or warning. No!
Oh, fuck, Hawk.
Is this what you need?
Having to edit Jules's moans is so difficult.
It's there. That's
You got effects.
I love it, but thank you, but also
Adds reverb to them.
Shanks's eyes closed tight at the intrusion. He was so inviting and warm. Shanks had relaxed into the pain and onto his thrusts, slow and vicious. Mihawk never moving his hand to allow him to speak unmuffled. When it felt more slick, he pulled out to admire how much he stretched out.
I could fuck you every day.
It was true. He'd never considered himself highly sexual until he'd met Shanks. It was a flipped switch he couldn't turn off. He teased his ring before plunging back in. Shanks whimpering and weak, his pace quickened. He took Shanks's cock in his other hand.
I don't know how you take me so well, Red.
They were fucking so hard the friction from the wall rubbed open the skin on his knuckles. That's a good ending. And they were fucking so hard the friction from the wall rubbed open the skin on his knuckles. The end. And they lived happily ever after. But he didn't dare move his hand as Shanks's open mouth was panting delightfully, his soft, wet tongue licking into his fingers. If he had to pretend not to care about the others, it would be worth it for feeling like this, he thought.
I'm going to come inside you, Red. Take all of me.
Wait.
You want me to come on your face instead?
No, babe. I want to feel you come inside.
And?
Choke me, please.
Mihawk remembered what Buggy had shared about his kink, and dutifully removed the leather belt from his waist, cinching it around Shanks's neck. He held on to it like horse reins. Yes, ma'am.
Let me go ahead and get one of those.
Yeah, get one in.
There we go.
You know what? Whatever. I dinged it.
We did. The ding.
Feeling Shanks twitch through his whole body, resuming his rhythm, but careful to watch his lover's face.
You're so good to me, Hawk.
His strangled voice sent him over, releasing himself deeply as Shanks came into his grip. He pulled the belt away first, his cock last. Shanks looked like he'd been hit by a truck, bloody and bruised from their duel and now right at the throat and covered in hickeys, dripping in sticky ejaculate. He didn't seem bothered, buttoning up his trousers.
So my ship or your coffin for this talk?
Give me like a so.
Yeah, okay, I was like that. So, my ship or your coffin for this talk?
Mihawk wiped himself clean with his hanky.
Yours, so your crew doesn't think I actually arrested you.
Shanks started to walk towards the shore when Mihawk stopped him for a gentle kiss.
Aftercare is important, Red. Let me tend to those wounds.
Yeah. Shanks opened the door to his quarters, forgetting until he spied it. The loaded syringe from that morning. Ah, shit. He forgot his morphine.
Crap.
He kicked it under the bed, hoping Mihawk hadn't seen. He found a first aid kit in his drawer and tossed it onto his pillow. Then changed out of his clothes into a pair of clean enough boxer briefs that he found on his chair. Clean enough is crazy.
Yeah, it's, just flip them inside out.
Ah!
Oh, no.
That's something Shanks would do. I could see him doing that.
That is something Shanks would do. He's greasy.
He smells it, goes, ooh, flips it inside out. Close enough.
Yeah. Ugh.
Make yourself at home, Hawkeyes.
Mihawk always felt a little stiff in Shanks's room. Because he's poor, Mihawk. So not everyone lives in a castle. He's poor. Mihawk always felt a little stiff in Shanks's room, since it was always in an uncomfortable amount of disarray and he never knew where to sit. Shanks also rarely sat still. He took off his heavy coat and hung it on the door hook, over a torn-open net bag of oranges. That was apparently what Shanks thought the hook was for. Shanks offered Mihawk tea, but hoped He said no. Shanks offered Mihawk tea, but hoped he said no because he was 90% sure they didn't have any on board. Mihawk kissed his knuckles.
No, just sit down so I can make sure you don't need stitches.
Can I get that line again with a little more tenderness?
Yeah. No, just sit down so I can make sure you don't need stitches.
Thank you, that's it.
Okay.
The medkit didn't have much, but there was a surgeon's thread, a needle, and a small bottle of rubbing alcohol, so he cleaned while he inspected.
I was serious that I didn't mean to fuck you again.
Oopsies. He started threading the needle. He'd gotten a tad too overzealous, and he needed to sew up the gash on his shoulder. Shanks took a deep breath, though he wasn't bracing himself for the stitches. Mihawk continued.
No, wait, just listen. I love fucking you. It got all a little messy. I'm sorry about the call the other night.
It's okay, dude. I have said dumber shit while drinking.
No, you just call me dude, really?
Babe?
Mihawk tied the thread, snipping the end off with his dagger.
Red, I need you to understand that I am in love with you. Hopelessly. So you're
Sorry, no, nothing. That was juicy. Keep going, you're doing great.
All right. Red, I need you to understand that I am in love with you. Hopelessly. So hurting yourself, throwing away your talent, it hurts me. I can't help it. And I know that you don't love me, and at first I was mad about that too, but now I just think life is short, and I'll take what I can get.
Shanks was sick of being fussed over and leaned back on his bed.
Who said I don't love you?
You did, I'm pretty sure.
He seemed to look inside his own head for a minute.
Babe, I've been pretty fucked up lately. I'm sorry that was confusing, but I do love you. I don't know exactly... I don't know exactly what kind of love, but I love you.
Well, would you ever consider...
Mihawk readied himself for rejection.
Would you consider being exclusive with me? Maybe just for a little while, to see if it suits.
Shanks's face was expressionless, so he added,
I mean, unless you're still in love with Buggy, or whatever.
Or whatever. Shanks laughed.
I love Buggy, but I'm not in love with him. We're just really comfortable. Maybe too comfortable.
That bartender on Fuchsia, then.
Shanks sighed, reaching over to pull Mihawk onto the bed with him, nestling into his arms.
I love Makino too, but it's not like that. She and I were doomed from the start. She was and still is very much married. Her husband was away a lot. If our baby had lived...
I'm so sorry.
No. Keep going. This is so juicy.
If our baby had lived, it was him that would have... It was him that would have raised it. We wouldn't be going... we weren't going to run off into the sunset or anything. We didn't want to hurt anyone.
Makino was pregnant and lost the baby? Insane lore. Mihawk nodded like he understood, though he really didn't. Shanks wasn't using love as definitively as he did. He ran his hands up his sides, stopping at the cuts across his thigh, all in varying degrees of healing.
These are new. I mean, I didn't do them.
Shanks realized it was too late to hide.
Yeah.
He grit his teeth, trying to be tactful.
If you want to experience a pain release, at least let me do it. Safely.
You see, what I said in chapter 1 about every single person in this fic makes a bad decision? I think this is one of Mihawk's bad decisions. Because it's not like he thinks that Shanks's self-harm is about feeling pain, but Shanks is an addict with like a really low dopamine threshold. Like, he needs that for a rush because he's not getting drugs. Yeah. Mihawk just kind of doesn't get it. He still thinks it's about something else. He still thinks that this is something that he can fix. Like, he wants to fix Shanks so bad. But Shanks self-harming is not something that Mihawk can fix. It's just a lesson that he hasn't learned about him yet. But this is such good writing.
You are staying off the drinking.
Is it conditional?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like you were giving me, like, conditions to be with you.
Mihawk crossed his brow.
I think you mean boundaries.
I don't fucking know.
He felt agitated, not really by Mihawk, but more the thought of never drinking again.
I mean, I don't know. I want to be able to have a beer with dinner, you know?
He found his hands absent-mindedly wading through his mop of hair.
Darling, you do know you are an alcoholic.
Shanks wanted to cry. The lack of sleep was catching up to him.
I think you're too good for me.
Mihawk kissed his eyelids.
Don't be an imbecile. Only I get to decide what's good for me.
I know that's right, Mihawk. He wanted to bathe, but the Red Forest had unpredictable hot water, and he could hear the sounds of pirates staggering to their bunks and didn't want the hassle. So he got undressed to his underwear and pulled the covers over them both. The rest of their conversation would have to wait. Shanks was asleep. And that's the end of chapter 4.
Woo.
Final thoughts on this one.
Things are building. Things are definitely, like,
Things are
escalating
yeah.
towards, hopefully, I mean, it's going to be bad for a second. I have a feeling. It's not going to be a...
Things are thinging.
Yeah, things are thinking.
This is
Things are
interesting.
thinking. Emotions are emotioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to make up a lot of context by myself, and that was
Hey, how
this was wild. Like
It
from
is
start
so-
to finish. Like
It is good to have you back in the studio, Apollo. Chat, send your well wishes to Apollo, voicing Yasop.
Does Ben get to fuck anybody in this show? Or not?
yeah, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on here? I mean, I'm still viable.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I am going to keep that information to myself
All right.
because Ben definitely does. Ben does get fucked.
oh.
Oh.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
Oh, wow. Anyone else thoughts? Because, like, a lot happened. Shanks is still sober, but he's definitely in the early
Well,
stages where, like, he just...
Well, he's finding ways to, like you were saying, the hurting himself is just to feel something, I feel,
Right, like,
Yeah.
he's turning
Coping
to...
mechanisms.
He's coping, and, like, Mihawk is just like, babe, just let me do it. But, like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot help him with this. Woo, this is a good chapter. We are getting moving. Thank you so much for listening. Let's wrap this shit up. Don't forget to be besties and get all kinds of awesome content made by yours truly by following us on TikTok and Instagram, One Piece of Trash Podcast for both platforms. And I really mean it. I want us all to be friends. I follow back everyone unless your page is private. If your page is private and you want me to follow you back, just tell me. We'll be moots. For news and updates about the show, follow us on Blue Sky, onepieceoftrashpod.bsky.social, and on Tumblr at One Piece of Trash Podcast. If you're a fanfic author and you want me to turn your fanfiction into a fan reality, email me at onepieceoftrashpod@gmail.com. I'll take you to the podcast and I'll take you to the podcast and I'll freak it. We'll freak it. And today, I want to give a shout out to from our analytic data for our analytic shout out today. I want to give a shout out to the 16% of Spotify listeners who identify as male.
Woo!
Hey.
Of 100% of our listeners, 16 of them identify as cis male. The rest are female and non-binary. And sup bros?
What's
You are
that?
small.
Sup, dogs?
Sup dogs? I don't know how to speak man. Somebody
How do you
speak.
speak, man?
Somebody speak heterosexual.
Oh,
Hello,
I
fellow
got this.
heterosexuals.
That was not it.
It's okay. Let me handle this. What's up, y'all?
How's that?
Wow, wait,
I've had a lot of practice being a hetero.
That was
Thank
kinda
you.
sexy.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. We don't know if they're hetero, just that they're male. We immediately went to like gym bro.
Oh, you're right. Oh no.
Yeah,
If you're a male and you're gay, hey. We don't know. You are a small but mighty group. Thanks for rocking with us, bros. Anybody else got something to say or to plug?
No.
Nope.
All right, butt plugs only.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
take a cold
Damn.
shower.